Cascade filter has been underperforming, to say the least. The tube here that you probably can't see into has just like a plaque buildup. It's probably a mixture of fungus and just organic matter that somehow gets through the filter. If you can see inside here, which you probably can't, there's a similar organic mass built up. So several things are going to be required, but I'm going to do an extra step because I've done this already and it hasn't actually solved the problem. My primary tool is going to be this pressure nozzle, and we need to remove anything that's going to obstruct flow as much as possible. Open these up so water can run straight through. I'm going to blow water through each of these hoses until it runs freely. Try to get as much of that plaque out, clear out this, and then I'm going to start disassembling the head and make sure that that crap's not all jammed up inside there as well. And so the first thing I'm going to do is hook it up in this 5-gallon bucket just to illustrate what the current flow is like, and then when I'm done I will reassemble it and put it back in the bucket and run it a second time. And then the other tool I'm going to use is this concrete mixing bucket, which is extremely useful when I get to the stage of separating out all the filter media and cleaning that out, which is also part of this routine maintenance. All right, so at this point it should be flowing very well. I'm not going to worry about proofing that because, you know, if it flows here, it'll flow there, right? This is not the flow that I expect to see. That's a substandard flow is an understatement, and so clearly something's jacked up. And we're going to run through cleaning everything out and then see if we can't make this head work like it used to. Another comment is I just recently replaced all the seals, so I'm pretty sure that's not it. You have to be really careful when we get to the impeller that you don't mess that little rubber gasket up, or you have to buy another maintenance kit. So now I'm going to pause it again while I unplug it and separate everything and get ready to start cleaning. So right off the bat, you see there is a lot of this just organic growth slurry built up on the top. I'm not sure how much is actually getting through the filter. Filter's probably all congested. This is really good fertilizer for my plants, so I actually save any of the organic material that comes out and, you know, use it as plant fertilizer, basically fish emulsion. But we're definitely going to clear all the sludge out of the bottom. We're going to clear all the sludge off these trays, get everything over into our scrubbing tank. And I'm going to pause it again while we do the first stage cleaning. Alright, so the first step is basically fire hose style. Just going to go through don't have the pressure crazy high at this step. It's not necessary. Just getting that slime off. Take this out and make sure as you see this is not running clear. I'm going to run some water through these ports. Now, water doesn't necessarily run both ways through these. There's a little seal in there that basically tries to keep the water from running the wrong way. It's kind of as an anti-siphon feature. But I just keep doing it till it runs clean. So I'm going to do that for a while. Next step's basically going to be to clean out these pieces, which just consists of hooking your hose up and running it through. You can pretty much see that the water is still not flowing through there. You still get that organic stuff coming out. So we're just going to do this until the water looks like, now it looks like the water is flowing through there unimpeded. So I blew out both tubes, and you can see there's already a whole bunch of this, what I'm just going to continue to call organic mass in there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do these one at a time so I can keep my media order straight. These pieces come apart, so when you blow those out, that makes it a little easier to at least take the end cap off. So carefully you don't rip these as you pull them out, and basically you have your coarsest media up to your finest media, buffing stuff at the end. And then we're going to blow out the tray, clean this gunky stuff out really well until it runs freely, and then reassemble it and do the same thing with the other one. Not that there's any great science to it, but I find that having a little grate or a screen that you can put it on helps you have a vacuum so you can blow water, flush out sponges and different media that you have, and then of course just squeeze it out from time to time. Flip it over and keep doing this until it runs freely. You think you got most of the stuff out of it. Okay, we got that tray reassembled and cleaned out. We're going to clean each of these coarse sponges, blow out this mucked up carbon bag, and then clean out this tray as well. And then we'll assemble the bottom one and put it back together. The other thing is on the power head, well actually we're not going to put it, we're going to do the extra cleaning step. There's a rubber piece here that we don't want to lose, and we want to make sure that gets remounted square as well. But so now we're going to work on the sponges. This is the part I usually skip. Take the washer off. Very carefully rotate this guy till it comes out, being very mindful of that little rubber seal, little rubber band looking thing that goes around there. And if you break it, then you really kind of need another one. It helps the seal properly. So we're just gonna make sure that gets cleaned really well. This little piece here is magnetic. It's difficult to grab. I recommend a pair of needle nose. You can very carefully grab this impeller, lift it straight up. It's also probably going to be gunkified, so I'm going to clean that out. I actually just stick my finger in. It's just really slimy, so we'll clean that out pretty good. Get a little toothbrush or something. The final thing I almost never do, and I'm not recommending, I can't recommend this, and I actually kind of probably caution you against doing it, so don't do what I do. But there's two little releases here, and I have in the past pushed this little tab in. Just push it in and down so it walks back. There's actually a seal around here as well that we want to be careful of. So just these two, push here and down is what I'm doing. We can separate this just a little bit at a time. Try not to break our super expensive filter. And I blew it through until it ran clear. There we go. And you can see it's still really gunky inside. So I'm just gonna blow all this out really good. I want to get all this organic crap out of there so that it hopefully runs as good as new, and we're going to clean this up really well too. Fish can have parasites and stuff, so certainly don't do this with your toothbrush that you're still using. Probably don't even want to do it with your roommate or someone you don't like, because you don't want to be responsible for them having to have some kind of treatment for worms or something. Alright, so this feels a lot better, less slimy. One last little spritz all around. That's about how much water we use to clean our filter, and that'll go into the garden. On my bananas and my artichoke over there. But anyway, now it's just a matter of putting it together in reverse order, and we'll hook it up and see how it works. Alright, it looks like I did not spring that little washer off. It's sealed back in. I put that in very carefully. All that looks pretty good. I'm going to put our coarse media in first. As far as I can tell, this thing is symmetrical, 180 degrees, so there's really no difference which way you align these, as long as you get the little holes lined up on both trays. We want to take our little washer, put our little washer on there. It's got a little groove that you fit on there. Make sure that fits on there good. And again, that's the smaller tube that we're going to fit over in here. All I'm going to do is I'm just going to eyeball this with some light so I can get behind there and make sure that everything aligns. But I'm never going to be able to show that with the camera, so I'm just going to put the camera down again and hook this last piece up. Just pumping water into the blue input port until it fills up, just to kind of pre-prime it. All right, so I plugged it in, it's primed, it should be blowing water, and if any luck at all, it's better than it was before. This is not primed. We're just going to prime it a few times to get the water, air out of the lines. So I took both hands, but after about 20 primes, heart to heart, it's running much better now. Arguably still not the most fantastic flow, but I think some of that has to do with the fact that the bucket is at the same gravity level as the pump. I'm going to hook it up to the aquarium because there's a 2 or 3 foot drop. There'll be more pressure in and hopefully be better pressure out. But I don't know, I consider that a win. Definitely a lot better. I'm also probably due for a media change. I'm just going to go ahead and volunteer that, especially the finer cotton filter was pretty wore out, and that fine filter may or may not be as porous as it used to be, and so that's going to also constrict the flow. But I'm going to run this for another few weeks. Next time I clean it out, I may actually rotate out some of the media. So that's basically it. That's my maintenance.